Hi everybody, and welcome to Diamond Club Australia webinar number 12. Today we're looking to get a lot of information about reimbursements and to kind of show you guys where you are looking to be this year in Diamond Club as far as statistics go, and where we're currently at statistic wise with enrollments here in the last week of the month, the first month of Diamond Club here in February. So we're super excited to have everybody that's participating. You're doing great, and there's still time left of the month to go ahead and qualify to keep participating in Diamond Club in the future. So we have some excellent things this week. We're going to go ahead and go over enrollments, goals, the information on reimbursements that you're going to need to know for sending those in next week, and like I said, some statistics, the top 20 standings, and then we're going to have a great guest speaker in Helen Shaw. So we'll go ahead and get started. So as far as enrollments go, we've gone over this quite a bit. I just wanted to show a little refresher along with some statistics here. Obviously, you're going to want to go through the portal on the website, as always, and if you have any trouble, you want to contact me immediately. And obviously, you want to keep track of your enrollments as well. All right. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. Jody, could you raise your hand if you can hear me? Okay, perfect. Thank you, guys. Sorry about that. So let's go ahead and look at some of these statistics from this year. As of right now, 50% of our participants, so that's just over 37 or so, have 15 plus enrollments. As of right now, the average for everyone is 17, so we're looking pretty good. Obviously, we want to get a little bit higher than that so that we can have more participants in the future months. 16% have 10 to 14 enrollments, so those are the people that are just under the required amount for the 18, but are still within the range to use this month as their month where they can have just 10 enrollments to keep going. Obviously, we have months that are tough. Usually the first month of Diamond Club is pretty tough, and it's really a learning curve is what it is. After that, you get the hang of things and start working and planning better with your team and your hosts, and you know how to do it. So basically that first month's just a learning curve, and that's kind of why we have that option to only have 10 enrollments for one of your months if you do need to use it. And then just go through the rest of the statistics. We have 16% have 5 to 9 enrollments, so they're pretty close to getting to at least the 10 to continue participating. And then we have 13% that have 4 or less enrollments as of right now, and maybe need a little bit of encouragement to keep going and know that they still have a week left and are able to reach that 10 by the end of the month. It's still not out of reach. You guys can definitely do it. So we're just going to kind of go over some goals and kind of what your vision for Diamond Club partially should be, other than your specific why, because everyone is different, but we want to let you know what kind of our goals here in Diamond Club are for you, so that you can have that in your mind moving forward to reach those goals. So obviously your goal in Diamond Club is to rank advance. It's set up so that you can become a diamond to fast track your business and to get those ranks and build your business and share doTERRA and the amazing product that we have. Obviously our most successful leaders hold regular events and are consistent about following up and contacting their team frequently. Communication is key in doing that. That's why our executives and our leaders at doTERRA have created Diamond Club as a program to help you fast track your business. It's for people who want to move their business forward quickly and be able to get reimbursed for it. So that's what Diamond Club does. It offers that financial reimbursement for people that are willing to go out of their way and build their business. It's a self-selecting process and a pathway for those who want to build their business quickly. So it's obviously a challenge to plan and prepare and work with everybody to build your business, but it's kind of a self-selecting process in that it'll show you where you're at and what you need to do to get to that diamond point or to build a team and a business. So I'm going to go over the reimbursement details for next week, and I'll be sending out an email this week as well, most likely later today, about reimbursements for next week so that you all have the information necessary and hopefully shouldn't have any questions while I'm gone at convention on the Gold Coast. So reimbursements, we want to get those reimbursements in as soon as possible, starting on the 1st, so that I can get those going and get the reimbursements back to you guys as soon as possible. So if you have it all set and ready on the 1st of the month, that would be the best time to send it in to me via email. And then I just want to let you guys know that the 5th is the deadline. Anything received after the 5th will not be reimbursed till the following month. So that is really plenty of time to be able to get your receipts and your forms ready and sent in for me to have them. That's a lot more time than we gave you last year. They were due on the 2nd of the month, and then so you shouldn't have any problem getting those in within that time frame. If you do have any questions or concerns, go ahead and voice them via email or directly to me would be the best way to do that, but there shouldn't really be any issue on that. All right, here's some of the reimbursement details. First off, you're going to want to submit the Diamond Club Request Financial Reimbursement Form. That's on the website. There's forms on Facebook under the Files tab, and I'll also be sending out an email with some Excel sheets that have the forms in them so that you can input your information there and save it and send it, and it's easy for everybody, you and me, to be able to get the information off of those forms to be able to reimburse you as soon as possible. So you're going to want to have all your receipts, copies of those scanned and sent in to me. You're going to need those to be the petrol receipts and the airfare for your flights, receipts and itineraries that show your destinations and the cost of those flights, so that we know how much obviously to reimburse you for those out-of-area trips and events. Obviously, we do need receipts to reimburse you so that we can verify the amounts. That's more specifically for the flights and itineraries. Those we definitely need receipts for, or there will not be any reimbursement. Petrol, we want the receipts just to verify the times around when you went on those trips so that we can reimburse those kilometers for you. And attach any other information or receipts that you have that apply to that. And here's the form just so everybody has it and can see what it looks like. I've updated it a little bit to include the out of area member, the IPC number, because on the other forms it wasn't listed, even though it was a requirement in the past. I've gone ahead and listed that so it's easy for you guys to fill it out and you won't have to keep track in other locations or write it off to the side or anything. I've created its own column there so you guys can insert it. It's pretty simple. You're going to write your name, the month it's for, your ID number, and the date that you're filling it out. The trip dates on the left, the trip location. You don't have to give an exact address, like the city would be fine. And then the out of area member, as I discussed earlier, the amount for airfare, if applicable, to that trip, and the kilometers that you drove, if applicable, to the certain trip, and then obviously the amount you would get in reimbursement per kilometer for that trip, and then you would total it all up and attach all receipts. You're going to need to sign this, date it, give me your bank information in order for me to reimburse you for these receipts and this money that you've spent traveling to build your business. Obviously the approval signature is for us once we've completed that here in office. So it's pretty simple, the information that you have to give and the way to do that. If you do have any questions, shoot me an email and I'll go ahead and take care of that. The other form is the monthly event tracking report. This is going to be more detailed about your events and where they were and how many people are attending and things like that. So this is you would want to specify whether it's a local or an out of area event on the form that I'm going to show you here in a minute. You're going to need to list who was the member at the out of area event, where, like I showed you in the other form, I've attached it also on this form as its own column so that you can specify that. And then all these forms can be found on our website and on Facebook, and like I said, I'm going to be sending an email out to everybody to cover that. So here's the form so everybody can see it. There's pretty much the same information as the other form, but it's more detailed as far as the event is concerned. Your name, the month it's for, your ID number, the events that you had for that month, the meeting location, be as specific as possible with those addresses, and then the out of area member ID number, again for any of the out of area events that you have. The city, the state, the expected attendees, the actual attendees, and the enrollments that came from that specific event. Like I said, if you have any questions on any of these forms, just go ahead and send me an email. Definitely help you take care of that. Now we're going to go into some of the statistics that we have for the past couple of years of Diamond Club. And the overall statistics from 2014, there were 27 participants that completed it all the way through, 13 participants that advanced in rank, and unfortunately there weren't any diamonds produced that year, but there was a lot of people that were able to build their business and teams to be able to do that in the coming years. And the total Diamond Club enrollments from 2014 were 2,767. Last year, 2015, there were 40 participants that completed, so we had a lot more participants that participated and then also more that were able to complete it. There's 22 participants that advanced rank. 3 diamonds were produced last year through Diamond Club, and there was 4,892 total Diamond Club enrollments from last year. So this year we're hoping to get a lot more, obviously, in these numbers and advance you guys and to help your business and teams grow to see success here in Australia. We haven't completed Diamond Club, so we don't have those numbers or the rank advancements because we're only in the first month. But as of right now, we have 1,265 enrollments for the month of February, and it hasn't even ended yet, so we're doing really well with all the enrollments. Everyone's growing their business and their teams and sharing the product in excellent ways. So we're super happy and excited about that. You guys are doing great so far. Here's some information on rank advancement statistics from the last couple of years, just so you guys know what can happen through Diamond Club. There weren't any blue diamonds created from 2014 or 15. The diamonds that were created were 3, as I stated earlier, from last year. There weren't any platinums from 2014 or 2015. They went straight to diamond, and gold from 2014 were 5. In 2015 there were 11 golds that came out of Diamond Club, and in 2014 there were 6 silvers. In 2015 there were 5 silvers. So we have a lot more rank advancements each year as Diamond Club goes on. We're seeing, hopefully we'll get to see a lot more this year to see you guys advance and get that recognition for well-deserved work and effort in your teams. So here is the standings for the top 20 as of right now. We want to congratulate all of you guys. You guys did great, so thank you for your hard work. You guys are amazing. We're looking forward to your success and seeing what happens in the future weeks. And for those that aren't quite listed here, you guys can still get here in the next couple of weeks, in the next months, as you learn and develop. So I want to go ahead and recognize all of you guys here that are listed in the top 20 for doing so well so far. We have Keysane Appleby, John Croft, Mish Pope, Penny Hardy, Christian Thrush, Margie Humphreys, Michelle and Godfrey Tyndall, Tanya Zaida, Lynn Guerin, Gavin Nearney, Aaron Blott, Sam Bunker, June Goshling, Renee and Byron Twilley, Nicholas Fairbairn, Polly Delaney, Colleen Scott, Pip Hughes, Ginny Park, and Shannon Morgan. You guys are great. Congratulations. Good job for all the work that you've done so far. Keep it up. You're going to go very far if you keep up the work in the pattern that you've shown thus far in the beginning. Definitely share your successes and your love for Diamond Club and sharing the product with everybody else that's participating. Show them what's worked for you. Share that on Facebook. Let everybody know what's been helping you, what you've been able to do or learn that's helping you get this success, so that they can learn from it and be able to see the success themselves as they plan and change in the future. So we're going to go ahead and have a guest speaker today of Helen Shaw. Let me go ahead and see if we can get her here on the webinar. Hi, Helen. Are you there, Helen? Helen, if you could raise your hand. All right. Hi, Helen. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, there we go. I was able to get you on. So Helen's been a great leader here at doTERRA. She's a diamond, and she has a great team built up here in Australia, and she's going to go ahead and share with us some great insight and information that she has. I'm going to go ahead and ask her a few questions that we've kind of prepared so that she can share that information with you. So Helen, how do you help the host of an event?
Well, Logan, this is so important with Diamond Club, and I found that communications are always key and the relationships are always the key. So planning with them, talking to them about details, talk to them about the class length. It's a good idea to keep the class length to about 45 minutes, not over an hour, is what we've found generally. Be clear with them about each other's roles and get them to become involved in some way that they're ready for. So, perhaps they might be ready to share a personal experience, or they might be ready to do part of the class. Always leave them one step further ahead when you have left them. So empower them to speak about what they've had and found with the product, and just that brings a lot of passion in and a lot of connection into the class. And let them know also that you're there to support them, and you appreciate that they're there to support you too. It's really a teamwork, and that's what you're building here. You're building a relationship, you're building relationships, and you're building communications and teamwork with someone that, in some cases, are people that we haven't even met before, and we've connected with them through Diamond Club, through connecting with our team and our downline, and asking them who would like to share and introduce this product and open up the opportunity for wellness to other people. So it's very important that we have this connection. I think it's a really good idea to help them with a phone call with them. So I know a lot of people do email and Facebook communication, and that's great, but if this is someone that you haven't yet met, or it's the first time they're holding a class, there could be things that they're a little concerned about. Sometimes it's the little details that mean a lot to people. So find out what's important to them and what possible concerns that they may have, so that you can put their mind at ease. Find out the details that you will need from them. For instance, do you need them to put up chairs? Are you going to do a PowerPoint? Will you need to have access to be able to give that PowerPoint to the more comfortable class sheets? What theme would they like to have the class held around as well, so that you know that you're planning a class around their target market, and that if they've got a lot of young mums, for example, they might like to have a mums and bubs type class. They might have perhaps a shorter class because there's going to be bubs present. All of these things can make a real big difference to the class. Also, get them excited and have them to promote the event as much as possible, and have them to be involved in all the details that you need, the paperwork that you need for the event, price list, enrolment forms, product guides, and also just preparing them that this is part of holding a class, particularly for people that might not have had one before. And look, be flexible as well. If they want to have an informal type class, that's fine. We can work with them is really the best, it's the best way going forward. And if they want to have a more formal type class, work with them as well. You have a whole range of different things. This is an opportunity for you to expand as well with your classes, as also you're expanding them. So really important that we leave them one step further along towards growth when we actually leave the class, and that they feel more confident that next time, this is another part that they can take on. They take on some of the role that you've perhaps taken on. And also speak to them about validating. It's important that they create that excitement around you, and they recognise you and appreciate you for being there, and they also let their guests know that they've got someone coming that's had some experience and some background and brings some knowledge to share. And then at the end of the class, turn that validation back to your host, so that when their guests, are perhaps opening a wholesale account or want to know where to get some connection or some further education, they know that's the person to go to, and you're beginning to create a community around that person so that everybody is not thinking, well, we'll have to wait till next time you come back to town if it's an out-of-town class, that they can go right there and start to build their community and their sharing around each other. That's what I've found has always worked really well. And yeah, so...
Excellent. Thank you so much, Helen. That's some great advice on hosting an event and helping your host to prepare events in the future. Like she said, it's very important to lead them one step further each time so that they can grow and learn from that experience and eventually do that in the future for people on their team. So, Helen, how do you best work with your team?
Well, I find, again, communication is really key, and relationships are key. I value all the relationships in my team. I think it's important that we do that we recognise people's diversity and their uniqueness and keep them in the loop. And sometimes this involves, you know, keeping that loop, that communication open by letting people know their responsibilities and their expectations in some way of keeping their people that they introduce to doTERRA in the loop as well. And remember that when you're working with people in Diamond Club in particular, that the hosts and sharers that we have of today, they're going to become the builders and the Diamond. So let them know the reasons that you're doing this. Keep it positive. Let them know, you know, that you have your goals and dreams, and that can be a health and financial goal. It can be to do with self-identity. You know, whatever it is, all parts of it. Let them know. Keep them in the mix of all that, and share. One thing I'd say is share more of your successes and satisfactions. There's always successes than the challenges, and the challenges are things that we can share too in a positive learning way. But we want to keep everybody in that positive vibe of that. Here's a great opportunity. This is actually a really, really fantastic business opportunity that we've got here in Diamond Club in learning how to just become leaders and how to plan and how to really just feel into that this is a business and we can create it, we can plan and budget it into our day. So it's an amazing opportunity that we've got here. And also, I'm always encouraging them towards independence, so we can look out to our team and see when they're ready and lead them in that direction and empower them in that direction as well. Hello, are you there, Logan?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
That's great information for everyone to know about communicating and working with your team. It's very important to share as much information as possible to get that information out there and communicate it to your team back and forth to get that information around so that everyone stays in the loop, like you said, and keep everyone on the same page to be able to work and build together. It seems sometimes like it is a one-man team kind of thing that you're doing because it's usually one person running your business, but in reality you do have a team, you do have a leader in that line, and you do have people that you can rely on and talk with and communicate with in order to have a successful business and to improve in different ways. So thank you so much. What advice would you give to someone that wants to be a builder, Helen?
Well, mainly I would say to think about that everyone that you work with will be at a different level of growth and goals. So this is not a one-size-fits-all company. It's we have, and that's one of the unique and the beautiful things about doTERRA, is people can come to doTERRA, they can do as much as they like, they can just purchase the oils, they can share the oils, or they can build, and if they build, they could build a supplemental income, or they can just build in as much as getting their oils for free, or they can actually build and replace their income. So when, and I imagine this is the long-term goal or the short-term goal, depending on what people's needs are with doing Diamond Club, is to actually produce an income, replace an income, and you know, and that's fantastic, and that's what we've done. But along the way, we've also had to recognise that not everyone has that goal. So everyone's organisation is made up of this diverse mix of people with diverse needs. So we need to hear where they're at. If someone comes to us and they like, you know, they are ready to build and they want to build an income, excuse me, we'll hear them first and ask them what their current needs have and how can we support that. Ask them how they'll benefit from taking this next step, because this is very important for people, and particularly at the beginning. There's a lot of work that we do, and it takes sometimes a little time to have that financial benefit coming back. And also, it's important to know how much they're ready to do independently, because as we know, building this this business, or any business indeed, I'd say, that we need to have self in that. So the greatest help and support we can be sometimes is to step back and be that support person, but allow them to do it, allow them to take their path, allow them to step into their business and create it and give them some directions. So always maintain the connection in this, organise with them how this connection is going to play out, whether it's follow-up visits. Naturally, we will have follow-up visits, particularly in the beginning. Mentoring calls are great focus for builders as well, that little bit of accountability that we all need, because in this business we're working kind of solo, we're flying solo. I mean, some of us are lucky enough to have our partners on board, but we really are working from the start in our kitchens or our back office or a corner of the house that we can put aside. And it's easy in a way to not allocate a particular amount of times to do that. It's just when it fits in, or we can get easily distracted instead of putting our focus on what it is that we actually do need to do in order of priority, in order to get our business up and going, and then fit the other things in amongst that. So this is somewhere where I also helped, where I also found that Diamond Club helped me immensely recognise where to work, where to recognise energy, where to go, and just how to support in areas that would help not only my team advance, but also would help me advance. So this is something that we can take into consideration when we're doing Diamond Club. We want to reach everywhere to everyone that we can, but we are human, we are only one person, so sometimes we've got to make these choices about, okay, this is where I'm going to work, and I'm going to keep my focus going back to this person because they are showing me that they would like to build, and I can really support them through this and help them to be independent and leave them feeling that they're in charge of their business by the time Diamond Club is finished. So when we're teaching them and training them, we need to look at three things really. We need to look at their rank, because training is very rank oriented. We also need to look at their growth, because this is different to rank. This rank can be determinate on what uplines have done and what various people in our organisation has done. So we need to look at also growth, and we need to look at their readiness. And this is some conversations that we can have with them to show them how rank can expand their business, how growth, like uni-level growth, so working across their organisation, will also expand their business. and how their readiness and their preparation will help them to expand their business. And very importantly, to meet them where they're at. But sometimes we can also look for that little spark, you know, that shine of brilliance perhaps that they might not have seen themselves, and we can help them to, you know, to tap into this as well.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's very important, like you said, to focus on not only the individual builders' team's needs, but their individual needs as well, in helping them grow and to become a builder and have their business be what it should be in the future as they continue to learn and grow. So thank you so much for that, Helen. What kind of encouragement can you give to someone who might not be doing as well as they had planned originally in Diamond Club or even in building their business? We know that we like to celebrate our successes, but sometimes we get down on ourselves. What advice could you give on that?
Yes, I think this is really important, and all of us have this little, we have this ability, I suppose, to get down on ourselves, like you say, and we can be our harshest critics at times. And, you know, I always think that there are no challenges, you know, without growth and lessons being attached to that, and self-reflection is always a good way of looking at that. And sometimes we can help people with this self-reflection, so-called mistakes or things that didn't turn out so well, when we turn it around, can become our most teachable moments. And there are a lot of these teachable moments that we can have with people that we're working with and also with ourselves. For example, I went last Diamond Club to do a class with someone that was 4 hours away, and we had 2 classes planned in. The first one went okay, and the second one we didn't actually have anyone show up for the class. So the host was very disappointed. I thought to myself, well, okay, how can we turn this into a positive? So I had a little class PowerPoint to run through with her. So I ran through it and got her to also run through it with me and left it with her, so that she actually felt confident to give this PowerPoint presentation herself once she had gathered some people to present it to. So there's always something within inside that what's going on that we can turn into a positive. Another thing that I've taken on board along the way is that when things are not going too well, to reach out to somebody, to have a mentor who's accessible and compatible with you, and perhaps put them on speed dial on your phone. But definitely remember that this is a part of life, that the path to the top is not a steep 90-degree incline, but it winds around and it takes us off on different paths on different times. And sometimes those times can be a little bit uncertain. And that's when, if we stop and realise that it is time to accept ourselves and let ourselves off the hook for things that haven't worked out too well, give ourselves a little bit of a break to balance things out, give ourselves a treat. These are things that our sponsors and our support people and our uplines can help us with as well, and allow them, and reach out to them and allow people to support you, because this is something that sometimes we forget about. You know, we are solo on this journey. We've got ways to reach out to people, but just send a message, perhaps if you have not heard from your sponsor or your upline, send them a message and say, hey, look, I've had a really tough day. Is there, you know, can we have a chat? And, you know, I'm sure that they will make that opportunity available to you. Another thing that I've tried in the past when things haven't been too well is just to make a list of all the things that have been positive, the things that have made me laugh along the way and given me joy, and also just one person that I've served on the journey that's most uplifted me, and then held on to that thought because you're going to want to go back and repeat it. So this is something we can also do when people come to us and they've had a bad day, or they've had an experience that hasn't worked out, very well for them. Naturally, they're going to be feeling a little bit down, and but we can help them to see, okay, where are your goals? Where can you reach? For instance, having a look at the statistics, people are doing amazingly well. It's going to be an incredible year with Diamond Club, and it has, grown and evolved over the years that we've had it. But people will only, determine that from where their expectations of their selves are and where their goals for themselves are. So I would just say, remember not to be too hard on yourself. Remember to look back to what you are achieving, and anything is possible for even the people that maybe only have the enrolments of 3 or 4 at the moment. It's still possible. We've got that that month that we can use to get through Diamond Club with just 10 enrolments. And we actually, in the very first year we did Diamond Club, we had 8 enrolments still to get. In the last, I think we had 2 days to get it. And we had with about 6 people that came along, and it was about an hour presentation, and they all enrolled. And we left there with only 2 more people to find, and managed to get to our 18, even though we, didn't think we were going to make it. So that was the very first month, the very first time we did Diamond Club. So I know that's a place that you can be at, but this is an immensely amazing opportunity that does build on, does progress, and does increase your volume, and it does show up in rank advancements and enrolments and overall growth, both during Diamond Club and following on from Diamond Club. Last year, the month after Diamond Club finished, we had a whole bunch of rank advancements, including two golds in June. So it's got that momentum is going to continue. And I know a lot of people that I've spoken to have maybe said they wished that they had done a lot more planning for February. If it's the first time that you've done Diamond Club and things are starting to show up for them in March, it's like, that's great that momentum is showing up for you, and you've got all these events planned in March. It's all very well to say, well, perhaps you should have done that planning earlier. We are where we're at. Just take stock of the place where you're at and know that it's possible. Just maybe look at the goal, break it down into steps that are manageable, and reach out to people that can help you to get those last few enrolments in that you need to across the line. And remember that once we get past February, I think it is in some ways a difficult month the first time you've done it, then we let go of that expectation after that. We let go of the focus of how many enrolments we've got, and it's more about, okay, so this is growth, this is sharing, it's an amazing opportunity to get out there and share this product with so many people and change so many lives. And then it's more likely that the enrolments will just come in across board without really that just being the absolute focus of it. So we have to grow into it, and people doing this for the first month, you have to grow into it. Be a little bit gentle with yourself, but also believe that it's possible. We know we've got convention on at the moment, but there's still are chances out there, and reach out and also just have that belief in yourself, because it's an amazing opportunity to continue with and to get through and be able to continue throughout the whole process of Diamond Club is extremely satisfying.
Thank you so much, Helen. That's amazing advice and information. So thank you so much for being our guest speaker this week. It's been a great...
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That pretty much concludes this week's webinar. Just an update, like she said, it's necessary to stay positive and focus on our successes, and understand that a lot of times we focus too much on the requirements that are there. Sometimes you need to let go of that and focus on building your team and working with your team, and then those requirements such as enrollments or the meetings and events that you need to have that are marked as required as part of the program, those kind of just fall into place as you're working with your team, as you're sharing the product and what doTERRA has. The rest of it just falls into place in reality. And I've heard that from multiple people already this month, over the past couple of weeks as they've been doing Diamond Club, and multiple people in the past that have completed Diamond Club. They realize that sometimes you need to let go of focusing on the requirements and the meetings that you have. Instead, focus on growing yourself, growing your team, and becoming a leader, and understanding what that means to be, and the rest just falls into place. So there's my contact information, my phone number, my email. Like I said earlier, we're going to be at convention this week, so I'm going to be out of contact. I'm going to try and check my email occasionally, but we got to focus a lot of efforts at convention this week with our staff. So do your best to finish this month out strong. Do all that you can. Like she said, like Helen said, even if you have only a few enrollments up till right now, there's still possibility to get the amount of 10 to be able to continue into the next month. And then after that, it's just understanding what you need to do in the future for March to be able to reach the 18 and continue on. So push as hard as you can this last stretch of the month. You guys can do it. We have faith in you. Use your resources, use your sponsors, use other leaders around you to get advice or ask for a little bit of help to host a meeting. We know these things are possible. You can do it. So look forward to seeing what you guys can do in this next week, and we'll see a lot of you at convention this week up on the Gold Coast. I can't wait to meet as many as you are attending that. So we'll see you all there. You guys have a great week, and we'll see you next Tuesday for our webinar as well.